She sat alone on the icy bench outside the grocery store, clutching her worn-out coat tighter around her trembling body. Her fingers were red and raw, her lips cracked from the cold. The people passing by barely glanced her way, heads down, too busy or too uncomfortable to acknowledge the woman sitting with a plastic bag and a small cardboard sign that simply read, "Just trying to survive." Inside the warm car parked nearby, 6-year-old Emily was humming softly to a Christmas tune on the radio. She was in her booster seat, swinging her feet, happy about the candy cane she had just gotten from the store clerk. Her father, Mark, was buckling her in when she stopped humming suddenly and looked out the window. Her eyes narrowed, then widened. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging at his coat sleeve. "Why is that lady sitting there like that? She looks so cold." Mark followed her gaze and sighed. He had seen the woman too. She'd been there every day for almost a week, sitting in the same spot, always quiet, always still. He had tossed a few coins into her cup once or twice, like most people, but he never really looked. "Some people don't have homes, sweetie," he said gently, brushing her hair behind her ear. "She might be homeless." Emily turned her head toward him, her little face etched with concern. "Can she stay with us, Daddy?" The question hit him like a wave. Mark was a single dad. His wife had passed away 3 years ago in a car accident, and he'd been trying to keep life steady for Emily ever since. He had a modest 2-bedroom apartment, a job as a mechanic, and just enough savings to keep them going. Life was simple, tight, but manageable. Inviting a stranger into their home wasn't part of that plan. "I don't know, Emily," he replied carefully. "It's not that easy." But Emily didn't let it go. "It's Christmas soon, right? And you said Christmas is about giving and kindness." "She looks really, really sad." "Please, Daddy." Mark hesitated. Logic screamed no. But something in Emily's voice, her innocent sincerity, tugged at something deeper inside him. He looked back at the woman. Her eyes were closed now, and he noticed her shoulders shaking gently. Was she crying? He buckled Emily in and sat in the front seat for a moment, just staring at the wheel. Then, he opened the door and walked over. "Ma'am," he said quietly. She looked up, startled. Her eyes were glassy, but her voice was calm. "Yes. My daughter, she noticed you sitting here. She asked if maybe you'd like to come have a warm meal. At our home." The woman blinked. "You're serious?" He nodded slowly. "I can't promise much. Just a meal. And maybe a place to rest, if you need it. We have a couch." She looked down at her hands, then back at him. "I haven't eaten since yesterday morning," she said, almost in a whisper. "Are you sure?" Mark glanced back at Emily, who was watching them with wide, hopeful eyes. "Yeah, we're sure." The woman's name was Rachel. She was 37. She had worked as a nurse until a series of medical bills and family tragedies left her spiraling into debt. Then came job loss, then eviction. She had no living family left and no one to call. She'd been on the streets for 4 months. At first, she was quiet in their home. She barely spoke, just ate what Emily offered her and helped clean up in silence. Emily treated her like a guest, showing her drawings and toys, asking questions without fear or shame. One night, after Emily had gone to bed, Rachel and Mark sat on the couch sipping tea. "You don't have to let me stay," Rachel said softly, eyes fixed on the floor. "I know you have your own problems. I didn't know people could be this kind anymore." Mark leaned back and sighed. "Truth is, I didn't know either. But my daughter reminded me. Sometimes, we forget to look at each other like people." Rachel nodded, holding back tears. "I just needed someone to see me." Over the next few weeks, things changed. Rachel offered to cook. She fixed a broken drawer in the kitchen. She even helped Emily with her homework. It wasn't long before the couch became hers, officially. Mark helped her find resources, and through a friend at the local clinic, she eventually got a part-time nursing job again. By February, Rachel had saved enough to rent a small room nearby. But when she moved out, it didn't feel like a goodbye. She came by every weekend for dinner. Emily called her Aunt Rachel. And Mark, well, he realized that somewhere between shared meals and quiet conversations, he had begun to smile a little more. Years later, when Emily stood on a stage receiving an award for community service in high school, she told a story that made everyone in the audience cry. She told them about a winter day when she looked out a car window and saw someone everyone else had ignored, and how a simple question, "Can she stay with us, Daddy?" changed 3 lives forever. Sometimes, kindness doesn't come from great gestures. Sometimes, it starts with a child's heart and a moment of courage to say yes.